What's up YouTube, it's Louis here bringing you today's cryptocurrency video. I hope you're all well, thank you for supporting my channel and giving this video a like. Let's get to 10 likes please, which is severely underrated, but let's get to at least 10 likes, that would be beautiful. So, I'm going to go through a few potential scenarios that I am seeing with Bitcoin right now. We're going to look at the Fear and Greed Index, the whale wallet that we watch, the monthly EMAs, and why we could potentially roll over even more. But it's all potential, it doesn't have to happen. I'm just looking at the past charts and seeing that something over here could be matching up with over here, which I've been talking about in the last few days. So let's get into it. So what is important about the monthly is that please get in this 12 EMA, because with this 12 EMA, you can see that in a bull market, you respect it exactly. And then once you lose it, you eventually, can you see you lost it, dead cat bounce, and then rolled over, whacked your head on support of the resistance of the 12 and the 20, and then we rolled over. If the 55, if we had more candles, of course, that you can see that the 55 was basically like holding this exactly. So basically, your bear market is the 55 monthly EMA. Then we went to a bull market signaled by the bullish cross, working our way up, and you can see we weren't even tapping the 20 along the way up. Once you did tap the 20, that was your bounce before rejecting the 12 and then rolling over into your bear market over here. So this is when the bull market started. And with this pump, you can see that when we rolled over, you actually lost the 12 and the 20. And what happened? This was the flash crash. This was the black swan event, COVID basically. And this is what sent us up a bit too fast, this massive dump, because it was completely out of nowhere. And that's why we're seeing this year almost 12 months of consolidation. Look, when we got into this, look, this is your floor. So when we got into this zone, look, January where we started, February, March, and then rolled over back to January level. And then of course, carried on, and you're still in between, like you're just consolidating basically, and we could roll over more, and I'll explain looking at here. So when you found your bottom over here, you got up, COVID crash, came back down. When you came back down, I want to show you the candlestick patterns. So we had a shooting star, followed by a big red candle, followed by a big red candle. Of course, yesterday I told you that we would like to see this candle close above this high over here. That would be very nice, but we could see some more rollover and we could close red this month. So those are two scenarios where we could close up here. If you do, it would look like one of these two candles, but of course green, because your entry point is just below that close. As you can see, the entry point over here is a bit lower. So if you were to close above this, it would be a green candle, because you're going back above this entry point to close above this. So it would look something like this red one, a spinning top, or this green one, a bullish hammer. Now, can you see that we're above the 12? And of course, I've shown you in the bull market, you just hold the 12. You don't really even, you wick below here. Yeah, you have wicked below a few times. So we've done that probably the most amount of times while we're in a bull market that has ever done. So look, you haven't even wicked below. There you did. There you did, there you did, like in 3 separate locations, but we've done that 3 times in one go, and we actually have wick below it again in this bull market. So potentially, because these two are the same, I know this is a current candle, so we can't really make a judgment, but just looking at this area here where we had a shooting star and then a big rollover and a wick down to the EMAs below it, we could see a wick down to this 20 EMA, and that's sitting at, let's get it exactly for you. So that's sitting at 37,324. Of course, I do not want this at all, guys, but I'm just looking at this new scenario. It can't just be bullish bias, you know what I mean? We have to look at every single case. And if you were to lose the 12 EMA anyway, you come to the 20. But I do think that we could roll over, because you could come back to, look, where is that sitting? Back testing that as support. Where did this come to? Down to here, to back test this resistance as support now. Can you see you wick down to these levels over here? To back to some as support. I'm not saying this is exactly the same and the past is indicative of the future, but I'm just giving you a potential scenario. If we were to roll over below the 12 monthly EMA, I would expect the 20 to hold up, and you'd be flipping this resistance into support. And I would, of course, like a wick up before that. So this could all happen before the end of the month. So you could actually roll over in this week or next week, and then by the end of the month, come back up and wherever, hold the 12 EMA. So yes, I want us to close above this, but if we were to roll over to that 20, I do want to see a monthly candle close above this and potentially sitting on that, just like now. So we could have the monthly close exactly as it is right now, basically, just come down more and then close roughly around here, and that would still be higher highs and higher lows. Of course the wick would be down here, but if we're looking at the macro structure, the larger structure, as long as you're above this, as long as you're above 34k monthly close, 35k monthly close, then we should be good for continuation, because you made a higher high, and then even if you close down here, it wouldn't be a lower low, so you just say it's a higher low. So I hope you enjoyed that monthly time frame. Let's take a look at the crypto fear and greed. And this is why I do think we are going to roll over more. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to roll over to 37k. I'm just saying that if we lose this, I do think that the fear and greed is a bit too high. Look, I think it's not showing us, but before we got to 28, day before we were 27, but the day before we were 27, we were at 16, which is bloody ridiculous. How do you go from 16 to 27 after a little pump? And then after having a dump yesterday, you only go down, what, 7? So it's a bit ridiculous. I was expecting to be in the teens. I was not expecting to be as high as 21. So this for me is suggesting that we are going to roll over more. We could have a little relief rally today, the next day, but I do think that we could roll over even more. Let's check the whale wallet now. So last night the whale did his first out, but it's only 1 Bitcoin, so no worries. But he did also buy 290 Bitcoins, just showing you that the whale hasn't sold until, since the top, basically. Yeah, here he sold at 67k. So he knew where the top was, and he sold at 67k. So just look at this wallet, see what he's doing, basically. If you see him sell, of course, he has so much more money. So even if he's selling like 1% of his account, it's still going to be millions. But just see what he's doing. Obviously, he's probably like dollar cost averaging out at the tops, and then obviously dollar cost averaging in the bottoms. So that's the monthly time frame. Let's take a look at the weekly. So of course, while we're still under the 20 and above the 55, you're going to consolidate, and that's why I could see the rollover back to 43k. But we know, looking at the monthly, if we lose the 12 EMA, which is sitting roughly where the 55 is anyway, 44, 43, that we are going to roll down to 37. So that's where the monthly is. Look, a weekly is 43, 44, and then rollover, where's 37? 37. Yeah, so it could even be this swing high to in and around here, basically, that you could roll over to if we were to lose that monthly 12, and then hopefully bounce off of this as support. But it's all potential scenarios. I'm just going through all the potentials because I don't want to just be a bull. Yeah, I do want you guys to look at the bearish cases as well, because there's too many hopium people out here, too many people giving out hopium. I was getting very nice comments on my quant video yesterday saying, like, you're one of the realist technical analysts, because you do go through like both cases and you don't just look at the bulls case like most people out here. Because I don't want you to then go and watch the bear channels and then just shoving you like bearish scenarios in your face. Like they shouldn't be just bearishly biased, and the bull shouldn't be just bullishly biased. You need to have no bias whatsoever and look at it both ways, basically. So as long as we're above here, we're basically still creating higher lows. But technically, as long as you're above here, you're good. Because since you made this low over here, you made a higher high. So you could even roll over all the way down to here and it'd still be blessed, basically. But of course, we don't want to see that. We know that if we do roll over, 22k is going to be our bottom, because that monthly 55 EMA was here. And look where the 200 weekly EMA is, at about 23k as well. So let's go to the daily time frame now. We know that because we're in between the 20 and the 55 weekly, we're just going to consolidate. So let's take a look at the daily time frame. So basically, we did break below the ascending triangle, but now we've bounced off this trend line. So yesterday I had this trend line, I think, in and around here. Of course, I did change it. Why? Because the chart changes, and when the chart changes, we need to adjust our lines. If you're having the same old lines, you know you're doing it wrong. So when the chart gives you new formations, new patterns, you need to edit your chart. So that's why basically the best thing to do is reset your chart at the end of the week, basically. Let's get that exact for you. Don't know why it's not editing it. There we go. So yeah. So I was expecting this to be the bottom. We were just going to get a wick down to there. But Bitcoin had other plans, so we need to adjust our charts for the new plans that Bitcoin has. So you did actually now bounce off of this area of support very nicely. You had a little bounce the day, 2 days before. Yesterday we had a nice bounce. And today when this body, when this candle opened, you did roll over to it and held it as nice support. So what I want to see now is today to close back inside of this, and then the next day to hold it as support, because look, you're now back above this low over here. We'll take a look at the 4-hour time frame to show you a bit better. So you can see here you're having multiple wick rejections off this support here, so it's telling me that this is accurate. And after that, you were having wick rejections to the upside, so it's basically saying we are consolidating between support and resistance. So a move to either side can happen, and then you broke back in. So on the 4-hour time frame now, I want to see the rollover, because you now hit the 12 EMA. I don't really need that, because you're probably going to come to the 20. But if you don't, you know why, the 12 was there. So if we do roll over, I want to see this hold of support. If we lose this as support again, this was telling us that this over here is a fake out. At the moment, because you lost support of this ascending triangle and this low over here, this meant that we're bearish, of course, but you did hold this descending support, and with that, you've broken back in. So at the moment, this over here is a fake out. The only way to confirm that this is a fake out is to back test this as support, the yellow and the pink line, basically confirming that this over here, this low over here, is truly support. So that's what we need to see Bitcoin do. I've set an alert down here just in case we lose that wick, because again, guys, remember, once we lose this low, which we did, your technical target is down here, okay? And I did say that we're most likely going to come back down to 42k as well. Even if we come down here, I think we get a wick basically down, potentially even all the way down there. But it's all potential right now. Remember, right now we're above this yellow line and the pink line, so I want to see a rollover back to it. I want to hold that support. If you fail to hold that support, then this move to the upside becomes a fake out. We lose the support, and then this is your technical target again, basically. I have shown you in the past that there are some levels that I can hold, like this double bottoms neckline over here, which is at 45k. So you could get a little bounce there, but you could come up to here and get rejected, lose that low, and fall to these targets. So basically, we just want to stay in the ascending triangle. It's as simple as that. So I'm going to draw another pattern right now. Let's go back to the daily time frame. So I did just watch Carl the Moon's video today. So he was talking about how a lot of people, well, CoinsKid was saying that this is a potential broadening falling wedge. I see that as well. But Carl the Moon made a very valid point that a lot of people might think that this is not a bear flag, and it really could be a bear flag. I've seen it multiple times in my trading as well. But I have to give credit to Carl because he's the one that mentioned it. So this over here, let's get it out. So this is a bear flag where you come back up and then you lose the low, basically, and you have a massive dump to the downside. But you can have bear flags where they tilt to the downside, like this, and then you continue down. But of course, the moves to the downside are less. When it's slanted to the downside, the moves are less, basically, because you're not having that relief rally to dump you. Just like when you go into a bear market, that massive bear market dump sends you into a massive bull market, and then that blow off top sends you into a massive bear market. If you don't get that massive blow off top, the bear market won't be as bad. So it's the same with patterns. Like, this is a bear flag, so of course, once you come back up, you're like coiling up for that massive dump, just like a fib retracement. But with just like a fib retracement, if you don't coil up a lot, then the dump won't be as much. So it's all about consolidating, correcting, and the bigger the correction, the bigger the continuation, basically. And that's the same with the bear flag. With the bear flag, you're correcting upwards and then continuation. But if your bear flag's pointing downwards, you're not going to have much of a move to the downside, basically. So I hope you understood that. So we had similar thing over here as well, and then you fell to the downside, and that's why I didn't have a completely massive impulse, because usually you'd measure from here to the move inside of the bear flag, and then you put down the breakout of the bear flag. Okay, fair enough. You did hit the technical target, to be honest. But that was with the wicks. With the bodies, you closed up here, so I would have liked to see the wicks down there. Sorry, the bodies down there. So the same with this. You measure the move into it, put down the breakout. So if we were to fall out right now, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's lining up as confluence, isn't it, with the monthly? So 36k, go to the monthly time frame. Oh gosh. This is why I'm not going to be biased with you guys. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be serious. And look at that, where that's telling you to come on the monthly time frame, back down to this support and resistance where the 20 monthly EMA is. So please share this video with everyone you know, guys, because it's serious. No one is talking about that monthly 20 EMA retest. I'm the only one talking about that. So go share this video on Twitter. My Twitter is Louis_crypto. So make sure you share and retweet that post. Of course, what we want to see today is the rollover. Confirm this as support, maybe on the 4 hour. Would like to see if we were to pump and hold up here on the daily time frame, then the next day to potentially roll over, have a wick below, and then confirm that as support. But remember, we're in an ascending triangle now and a potential bear flag, and we've just shown you the bearish scenario of that bear flag. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one, guys, and as always, peace.